Hi, Angelica. So I've got my mic on, and then obviously I have these on. Uh, but let me know if this sounds better, sounds terrible, sounds worse, whatever. Just trying it out, just because I imagine this is better than the mic here, just so you can hear some of the nuance a little more clearly. I'm going to take you through some exercises today. I hope you're having a blast in California. I will see you next week, but this is yet another awesome, I hope, video lesson for you to, again, you can have forever, especially that week of the audition, where you're just staying healthy. Frankly, that's number one, even more than staying strong or exercising, of course. But making sure, we can't always prevent it, but making sure as much as we can that nothing happens. So again, just to reiterate, more water than most people. I used to believe that warm liquids like teas and stuff were just psychological. I think they are partly psychological. In other words, they work psychologically, yes. But I'm beginning to think now, with my experience, my students' experience, they actually work truly physically, because as you drink, I think that the steam actually does loosen anything that's here that might be here, but that steam also reduces inflammation. So I'm beginning to think that it may be real. It's not just like an old wives' tale, like go tea when you drink. It used to annoy me, like tea when you drink, when you sing, like it's so important, and lemon and honey and stuff. And but it was gimmicky to me. But I'm beginning to realize that that can actually keep us from getting sick too. So not just when we're sick, but we can actually use it for prevention, especially if it's anti-inflammatory, like chamomile. Most teas are anti-inflammatory by very nature, but especially herbal teas. Now I've got some sort of weird tickle in my throat. Just leading up to this audition, I would hate that happened to one of my students, and she just got sick at the audition and she felt terrible. Just happened recently. So keeping healthy with the tea, with the water. Obviously, hand washing is number one. I mean, I'm sure you're washing hands all the time. I am going to be even more vigilant about disinfecting everything between each lesson as audition season kind of comes up and stuff, and that kind of thing. But keeping everything really limber. So if you can imagine an athlete, right, stretching and working out before their meet or their match or whatever. But even physically stretching that week, doing yoga-like poses, right? I recommend this one like this. So inhaling as I did this, and then exhaling as it comes down, keeping the rib cage high. So my posture was terrible before, my alignment was terrible. Now it's all good. I just have to sort of keep it that way. Another excellent one for singers is this thing where it looks crazy, but if I can do it, you could do it. Anybody can do it. You probably can. But it is literally where you put prayer hands behind your back. It kind of hurts me right now. A little bit. It doesn't hurt me. It's really uncomfortable. What this does is it takes a lot of tension. There's no tension at all in my shoulders. There's tension in my arms because they're not used to stretching this way, but it doesn't like hurt her. It just feels weird. And right now I can feel the blood like flowing through my arms. So that kind of thing opens up the chest very well, which is really cool, and opens up your breathing. Yeah. Like the blood is literally flowing here. So it's like, oh my gosh, am I injured? So it's really, my body's freaking out right now. So even stretching like that week of your audition, that'll be, you'll just have started school like the week before. And so really just preparing that way, I think would be really beneficial to you. So just different things like that, twists, again, exhaling as you go into it. That kind of thing. Again, if you do neti pot or if you do a saline spray, maybe doing that once a day to prepare and keep any germs out, any allergens out, that kind of thing. All right, so that's what I recommend. I'm just thinking forward, and I think you're just going to be great. You're very well prepared. You sound great. You know the show. That has a real, that you can't underestimate that or overestimate that. All right, so what I'd like to do today is something kind of different. Sorry, that's not it. This one goes, and So I know that felt a little high for you, but if you don't think about it and just kind of go for it, you'll be good. And the staccato, just, it's not even going to feel like singing, especially since I know you don't normally sing like that. You don't sing your head voice, but that's why I want to do that today because we're belting a lot. You're great at it. You're great at the speech level singing, but just to keep that head voice healthy, in turn keeps your belt voice healthy too. So both need to function, just like in science, right? There's this idea of balance, right? One needs to be like this, one needs to be work, the other side needs to be work. It's a balance between two differing things. So I think that that head voice thing, it just keeps your belt healthy. So I think that's great. All right. On that same note, this feels low to me. I sing here all the time. But today it just feels like, wow, it's low in my voice. One more. So this is, again, another big head voice thing. I don't know if I've ever done this one in lesson video, or in a video lesson, the hey taxi thing. I always do that. This is always how much time, but I want to do the hey taxi, hey taxi, hey taxi, hey taxi, hey taxi. Hey taxi, hey taxi, hey taxi, hey taxi, hey taxi. It's getting harder for me. Notice I'm just going a little bit back on that top note because I'm kind of freaking out. My brain's a little bit, but the idea is not to freak out. Hey taxi, hey taxi. Let's see how far I can go. Hey taxi. Hey taxi! Oh, I gotta sit up. Hey taxi! Hey taxi! That's about as far as I think I can go today. But you might be able to go even farther. Hey taxi is great, especially because in your audition song, you're going to have to, I mean, you do a little bit of speaking in the song. So kind of get you ready for that a little bit. So I really, really like that one too. In a belt, I'd like you to go, oh, oh, a little bit of an ah on top, not like ah, oh, 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 and be sliding. Oh, I feel a break right here. But let's see what I can do. So let's see if I can get a little more space. That's my go-to fix for things. Oh, and a smile and try back to your side. Oh, it was not as strong as I would have wanted it. But there's that, again, if I can think space, my soft palate will rise, hopefully naturally on its own, and it'll feel good. That was higher than I thought I would go just because I thought space. So I want you to challenge yourself to I mean, obviously I want you to focus on your audition stuff in the show, but, even with the audition coming up, again, I don't want you practicing it too much, of course, because then we start to make weird mistakes, but obviously keep practicing it. But in addition, challenging yourself to a little bit of a higher belt, just some higher things. Take Me or Leave Me, of course, is a really great song to sort of distract yourself from the audition thing with, but you're also obviously practicing. There, again, because your partner in the song has such a different voice from you, accentuating that belt, I think, is even more important, again, so that we have a contrast between your belt and then her head voice. I think that'll sound really cool. And then you were thinking about maybe doing that Wild Party song for Thespians too, which I think is gorgeous. On that one specifically, it just sounds great. Honestly, the only thing I can think of is that I think could even go wrong is you just not feeling vocally great, because you sound great. You sound very well prepared. So that's it. Really keeping yourself healthy, keeping yourself like this, but keeping stretched, keeping yourself from getting tense, because again, that's our biggest challenge, our biggest trap with belting. But keeping from feeling any sort of tightness, massaging while we belt, doing these kind of stretches during the song, fidgeting, slowly stretching, things like that. That's really the only thing that I could think could stop you, that could be challenging for you at all at this point. So keeping that way, Take Me or Leave Me. I don't have the guts to be like Maureen, but you might. And you've done a great job of really sort of capturing her character. But really, she's just so ostentatious, right? She's so bombastic. And so being like that, you might almost have to, if you're like me, you have to really detach yourself and become like an alter ego of yourself, you're becoming a character, but even more so than just I'm a character, really sort of pretending almost like you're a lunatic. That's how I almost want you to think of Maureen. She's just a little bit on, she's not, but that's how I want you to think of Maureen, just a little bit on the edge. And I think you will make Maureen even more flamboyant and great. Even though I know that's not what the song is about, but I want there to be such a sharp contrast between you and your friend doing it that it's just like, wow, it's almost like a weird Laurel and Hardy thing or something, right? Where there's just like two people that are just so different that's what really strikes people. So think about that, Maureen. Think lunatic. Think just being nuts and crazy about Joanne, but crazy, just very, she is the definition, that character is the definition of a free spirit when people say free spirit, right? Even in a show, right? Even in Rent, where there are everybody's kind of a free spirit, right? In the gang, not necessarily Benny. Not necessarily him, obviously, but the gang, they're all free spirits, but she's the free spirit in a group of free spirits, right? Which is the whole point of the scene in the movie and whatever, that she's just wild, this whole point. So I want you to really, especially since it's in the song, really sort of think wild and like almost like Woodstock 60s, like just like free and no rules, that kind of thing. Which again, you're gonna have to really sort of come outside yourself, because obviously we don't live in that world. So really sort of come outside yourself and go, I'm a person at Woodstock, and I don't really know where I am, and I don't really care, and there are no rules, and I'm one with the universe. Like that. Okay. That's crazy. But I'm saying that's an alternative to just thinking lunatic. I think that's gonna be great. Wild Party is wonderful. I just can't say anything enough. I mean, there's really nothing wrong with it. You're doing wonderfully. The character is wonderful. Just have fun with Maureen. Have fun and just kind of go for it. Be ridiculous on purpose. That'll be great. And then, of course, Meta, she's ostentatious too. And she's really flamboyant too. And I know there's a fine line, because I want to tell you to go for it, but I know that art means subtlety. And so, yes, there is overacting where you're too much like her, but I think you can go for it if you like. And I will tell you with Meta, I'm sorry. And I will tell you, ooh, that's too much. Like, okay, that's a little too crazy and wacky and flamboyant. But she's also very elegant too. So she's not like Maureen, right? In that way, she's very ladylike. So anyway, so those are my takes on everything that you've got coming up that you're doing. You sound wonderful. I'm so proud of you. It's very hard for me to find a lot wrong. I think, again, staying healthy, regulating mucus and postnasal drip, especially as the seasons change, which is going to come up in a few weeks, that August, so keeping tabs on that, keeping this clear, again, with the clear fluids, even chicken broth. Again, you're not sick, but even thinking and pretending like you are, like with the chicken broth, chicken noodle soup and stuff, that will actually keep things from even starting, I think. It'll be great. So I will see you next Monday. Any questions, as always, text me, email me. I'll see you next Monday.